that was they gave me. I went here to Google, then I found Wix, then they addressed me to this. Because I want to make sure that you know more or less how you're gonna see. So they sent me what I said before, just out of curiosity. Let me see, because that changes all the time. But I don't know when you access how will be your main interface. But for example, here, create your website. So now we are finally starting to create a website. Before I explain you, I gave you, so previously I gave you in the other part of this video, I showed you how it's going to look like. I gave you an example of my own website, and I gave you some kind of explanation. But now let's really create a website. So let's really do something. Wix has now a new option, which is you can either create it using the traditional Wix, the new editor X. I totally recommend that you use editor X. If I come in here, I have to change the browser, because this browser here does not work with the new editor. So that's one of the reasons why I have to close here. So let me see how it's supposed to open. Okay, so I have two options. I can use Wix, the traditional editor, or I can use the editor X. The difference is that the editor X is a little bit more flexible. You have more options, but can be a little bit harder for. I don't know if it's harder. It was hard for me because I already knew how to use the Wix. So sometimes it can be a little bit hard to adapt. But now that I know how have been using for a while, I even found this editor X better. I don't know. It's still, but let's use this one. That is the most recent version for Wix editor. Editor means that you are going to create your website. So now you are starting to create the website. The first thing that they do is to ask you to go for start point. See that here, the one that I showed you in JavaScript. I always like to use as many stuff as I can. Then I think that, but if you come to the editor of Wix, they have more options, because if you come here for the Wix, you have more options because it has already been for a long time. You can build. You can build, for example, you can build your website in Wix, and later you just make the migration. So let's see how it works, because I have not been doing that for quite a while. But let's suppose that you want to create using Wix editor, because they have more options. But later you are going to migrate to editor Wix. For example, let's say that you want to create a website for PhD. Let me have it here. Academic scientist, like suppose. See that I'm not here making any kind of you don't have to worry about it to be specific about one specific, because Wix, that's the magic of Wix. It's not attached to any specific application. So let's suppose that you want to do an academic tutor. Let's suppose you want to teach, so you create a website for teaching. You want to offer a lesson. So what's the name of website? For example, you can say like wizard academic wizard. You want to say a couple of lessons. What's the name? See that you are creating a website just by answering a couple of questions. So what you want to have in your website, that's the magic of stuff. You can create you can, for example, eliminate all this kind of options. You can say, I don't want any of these options. Then you have more options here, portfolio, music. As you see, it's up to you. You can add later. You don't have to worry for now. You can create a website very basic. So let's make a very basic website. Suppose that you want to make a very basic website. Let's suppose the tip I gave before is not going to complicate the website, but let's choose the chat, because in the second part of the course we are going to use a connection with the chat as an exercise how to code in Wix. So let's choose the chat, but let's choose as well a blog, because you want a blog. But in some of my websites I have booking as well, because I can book lessons. So let's suppose that you have I'm not going to use book here because I don't know how complex the website will be, but you can add it later. But let's suppose that you want to just a chat that you want to use in the second part of the course. Let's suppose you want as a blog in which you can post as much stuff as you want. So let's go next. So now it will create for you a website. So you can start create any Wix editor. Start with blank canvas, design, build template, and optimize. Let's see. Let's see, because it has been a long time that I do not use this option here. Yes, now we have to choose a template. Let's suppose, let's see, they are about teaching. So now you can choose the one that, as there's a huge amount of options. So you don't have to worry very much. Let's suppose, that's the magic of this stuff. There's a huge amount here. You can get lost about all these templates. So, but that's not my goal here to make you get lost. Let's take this one. You can view if you want. Just take a look how it looks. As you can see, I think, yes, I have already used this template. I have one website that I have one website. You can look as you have a subscription, you have login, which is a very awesome part that you have a kind of. So let's choose this one. Again, you can choose the one you want. My advice is that you don't worry. As you start to create your website, you can create as many websites as you want. With time, as you create the website, as you create more and more websites, you are going to start to be better. You are going to start to be much better at creating your website. So my tip is don't worry very much about which option you pick. As you start to use, you start to be familiar. As you start to be familiar with Wix, you start to get easier, because most, as you saw, most of them, they are about